noise allow. Right.
So
Just make sure. Just got to turn my fan off, and then I'm all sweet.
testing. Audio is coming through. So when are we getting ready to? Are we almost ready now? Ready to go now?
I believe so. He said start it like as soon as we got in, but
Well, we're live and people are tuning in, and I've just got the starting soon, thumbnail up at the moment. So,
yep.
I'll just flick across to the PS4.
Yep.
One light.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. It's your favourite time of the week. That's right, we are back for round 2 of this F1 2019 SRL Championship season tonight, coming to you from Shanghai in China. And beautiful circuit, round 2 of this championship, like we mentioned, as I'm joined by my co-commentator, back again for another week, Bradley Marshall. Brad, great to have you back, and we're in some very exciting racing again tonight, no doubt.
Yeah, we're definitely in for some exciting racing tonight. Hopefully our man Wilco won't suffer the same tragedy as Australia this week.
No, that's for sure. As we get ready to go racing, it's round 2, it's SRL. Here we go for another night.
1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, pause, and it's go! Inside line for the next corner, they almost touch. This is so close. We've got this spicy battle in the remaining 4 laps of this race, and now they're side by side. Oh my goodness. Have you got any fingernails left here? Look at that. Wilco hangs it around the outside, foot to the floor, pedal to the metal. Who is he? But Carp Dude is fighting back. Oh, Jesus. Look at this. It's crisscross action. So, he's come out right in the middle of a pretty intense battle. Oh, look at this. You couldn't have got the timing any better, Carp Dude, because he's got Honest Crook. Look at that for a camera angle. Honest Crook in the Williams, BK, and the Ferrari of Hef. Look at that, what action we're seeing here tonight in both races. And Bubbles just sends Jacko a little bit wide, but Jacko sticking with it. And down the inside now, Big Donger for size. Just gets around the 2 of them. He says, piss off. I'm getting up into 3rd position, and is that Wilco? No, it's the 2 Big Dongers, Big Donger and Big Dick, both going at it around the outside in a frantic opening lap of this race.
Oh yes, if that doesn't get the juices flowing, I don't know what will, as we get ready to go racing here tonight in Shanghai. 8:05 p.m. start here for this one. 10 people joining us. Look at that. Harry, Sam, Crosso is joining us. And, I think I thought I turned the mic off for that one, but apparently we could be heard. Good thing we didn't say anything too naughty. But DRC Jared, New Zealand Ryan saying bruh, as we're just waiting for a few more people now. 8:05 Eastern time. We're just about to kick off 18-minute qualifying session as per usual, and a 50% race here tonight. And the interesting thing, as always, is going to be the strategy around here, Brad. Softs to mediums, mediums to soft. If you've done a few laps around here, mate, what would you do tonight?
Yeah, I've done a few laps around here on practice. I mean, the soft tyres do sound tempting, but through a bit of practice, they're definitely not the tyre to be on. But, I mean, if you want to take a gamble, get track position at the start, I mean, you can go on the softs. but I reckon the safest bet going with the two harder compounds for sure.
No doubt about that. And some quick information about tonight. ABS assists are allowed. ABS, medium traction control, automatic gears, and ERS. Band assists, I should say. Pit assists, pit release assist, meaning drivers have to slow down and hit the pit limiter, which we saw a few drivers have trouble with last week back in Australia. And they need to hold the clutch, of course. Manual starts, race setting, strict corner cutting is back, Bradley, meaning that if a driver runs off the track, takes too much curb, the lap, like we saw in Albert Park, will be instantly invalidated. So you cannot put a wheel onto the curb or onto the grass, otherwise you're going to pay for it, Brad.
You'll definitely pay for it. It's a big no-no with the strict corner cutting on. I believe in China, it won't necessarily catch the drivers out as much. There's not really many corners that you could cut here. So it'll be interesting, to see if anyone does actually get a corner cutting penalty here. But I believe everyone should be able to stick it and keep it on the track here tonight.
They should, as we get ready to load into this session, then short qualifying session here at Shanghai in China. First hosted a race back in 2004, the inaugural winner, the great Michael Schumacher. Also the site of his 91st win in Formula One and his final win, of course, back in a rain-affected race back in 2006. That's if anyone was born back then, but maybe I'm just showing my age a little bit as we load into this qualifying session now. Like we mentioned, 18 minutes, and if quali and the race are dry, with thanks to Wilco's weather reports, our man Wilco, Brad, but we're not allowed to say that. The tyres for quali are going to be crucial tonight, because if a driver chooses the softs and qualifies in the top 10, those are the tyres that they will start on.
They are the tyres they will start on, and with some practice earlier in the week, they definitely don't last very long. So like I said, it's definitely going to be better if you're on the two harder of the compounds. But, I mean, if you do want track position and you do want to get a magical pole, I mean, today could be the day, because the guys that know what they're doing may be just jumping onto the mediums.
And we are expecting a one-stop race as we're waiting for everybody's loaded in, except for Sam Cham. We're waiting for Sam there, and DRC Jared has joined us. Stress Budget Racing. It seems to be taking, it doesn't usually take this long to load in, Brad. I'm not too sure, but we're trying to get ready to go qualifying here tonight for this race, round 2 of this championship. And Sam says deal with it. He's holding everybody up, Sam. Come on, brother. Let's just, how good is this, eh? I don't remember seeing this in the esports series that I was watching a bit of recently, but Harry and Jared saying, come on, Cham, come on, Sam. He's still loading. Is he gonna get the boot? We can't vote to kick him out, can we? Everybody's in except for Sam, and we're just getting that loading circle of death. And New Zealand Ryan saying these are some nice loading screens. I guess we could go to. I guess we could do something a little bit different. And we just go, there he is there, our man Wilco. We could put that up on the screen. You probably can't see that, Brad, but we've just got a nice picture of our man Wilco up on the screen while we wait for this, while we wait for the qualifying to load in. No, just being humorous. Everybody, of course, suggesting, can you believe that we favour Wilco? But boy, it's it's gone beyond a joke now. We're not getting anywhere here tonight, Brad. What on earth is going on here?
I have no idea what is going on. This is the longest loading screen I have seen, and I don't know, is this start time going to be aborted? Is a new session going to need to be made? We have so many questions. This is, we've gone a bit off script here tonight.
We certainly have. We're getting a great tour of Shanghai. Ni hao, shishi ni. Nihongo. That's I probably offended 1.1 billion Chinese people, but I think that's Chinese, or it could be Japanese. As and Sam, this is keep your comments coming in. We might. I was about to say we could start voting for driver of the day, but we haven't even got that far yet. And Big Shep's joined us. He says, "Hurry up, Sam." And I'm sure he's joined us after a couple of frothies from the Beach Hut Brewery down there in Scoresby, Victoria. The comments are flooding in. Sam, unbloody turn the thing off and turn it back on again, I reckon. Chinese or Japanese, I'm not too sure. Oh, konnichiwa. Yes. Jared, Wilco, Super Crunch, they're all waiting. And just this is for you, Shep. We don't favour anybody here, of course, but boy, we're going to have to do something here. We're going to have to restart the lobby. 17 people are watching this. Oh my God, the pressure's on. And I better not start talking any more Japanese or Chinese here, Brad, because boy, we're getting a great tour of Shanghai at the moment. The city off in the background there. Beautiful sunny weather. That's the pit straight as well. Jared saying his night's ruined, but hang in there, son. As, well, I don't know what we're going to do. We might have to start a new lobby, Bradley.
I believe that may be the smart call to do, because we've now been here for a few minutes and Sam's not loaded in. And I can't say that I've seen this happen on an F1 game before. Did Sam left the session?
Hallelujah. Oh, no, wait, we're restarting the lobby now. So Sam has left the session. For anyone just joining us.
And qualifying would have been rain.
And it would have been wet. Oh, Sam. Oh, boy. Maybe all is not lost. We've got a wet qualifying session, but maybe Sam can get back in the party for DRC, Jared, Harry, Ryan. I'm hearing that he can't through my headset. And, well, there's not much action on track at the moment, but I've got to say that I don't think Sam can get back in this session, Brad, and that means to say that we're going to have to start this little thing all over again.
We'll just have to wait and see. I do believe if you leave in enough time, you get back in with enough time, you can slot into your car, but I believe this will be down to Wilco's call, whether a new session is started or whether it's just too bad Sam, and that's unfortunate for him.
Well, we've got a Renault coming out. That is Big Donga 619. Who could forget the famous restart? Then we're getting the word from Wilco. Good thing we've got word from Wilco that we will have to restart because I haven't got any sound on my F1 cars. I don't think I've got any sound. Oh God, how good are we travelling tonight? That is weird.
This week I actually have sound. Last week I didn't.
So we might have to restart this game. This is unfortunate. 17 people. I guess we could talk like David Valsecchi. Oh my God, Sam didn't load in. But, oh, no, he can't join. And Sam can't join. Mamma mia, this is no good. No, we better not trigger that clause in our contract. Wilco might get a little bit annoyed, but we've missed out on the qualifying session, a wet qualifying session here in Shanghai. And all we can hear is a couple of birdies in the background because I've got no car noise. Oh boy, this is going from bad to worse, Brad.
Yeah, unfortunate for us. Everything was running nice and smooth beforehand, and then it's like, oh, once we get to streaming, everything's just fallen to shambles. So we're going to be restarting the session, as confirmed by Wilco.
And Jared, they're restarting now. Thank you, Wilco and DRC. Jared saying, you guys are GOAT commentators. He's very happy indeed. And that's what happens if you go 13 minutes without any action. You start talking like David Valsecchi. Oh my God, very good. And Big Shep, what's another word in Chinese? For 181 Tukan Chu. That's the number 15 with lemon chicken down at Noodle Box. And hopefully Big Shane is with you there, Shep. I got your message a little bit earlier on today. The Big Shep man, good friends of Wilco, of course, and our man Wilco. But HSV's left the session. Is anybody going to set the timer? I don't know. We're leaving our fans disappointed, and we feel sorry for you. But BK, we might flick through these drivers here. Sam Cham, no sign of him at all tonight. Wilco, Harry. Is anybody else out on track? We've got the Hef in the number 69 Ferrari. And Jazza Dodsky, I think I've said that right. Big Jazza. Jazz's joined the live stream tonight. He says, my mate Crumpkin is playing. The man whose name that I can't pronounce, Brad, but that's nothing new for me. I seem to butcher these names all the time in this championship.
Oh, don't worry. I'm in the same boat. I see Crumpkin, and I say that he's Crumpin like back in the 90s. So, yeah, there's a there's a few names there that are a bit hard to pronounce, but we try and do our best. And sorry if we butcher any of them, but yeah.
Okay, we are back in the new lobby, and I think I need to spectate. So there we go. We've got 17 people watching this stream. That is an absolute miracle in itself. As Big Jazza says, it's the dance move. It's the dance move. I'm not sure what that means, but this is terrific stuff. 15 minutes in, and we haven't even started quali. But I don't know about you, Brad, but I've got all night. There's no rush. We can stay here till midnight, apparently. So there's no rush to get into this.
Yeah, definitely no rush. Yeah, unfortunate that our most viewers tonight had to look at our loading screen for a good 5-minute session there. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get this up and running and there'll be no problems second time around.
Second time lucky. And I do apologise, I'm coming in to this evening's call with a touch of the man flu. Absolutely no sympathy from the Mrs. Brad, which is unbelievable. And man flu is a real thing, and we will start up some awareness campaign for it. But as we get ready, is Sam in here? There we go. Sam is on the screen. Hallelujah. 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 And he's in the lobby now, and let's hope that we don't have that terrible loading screen issue that we had a moment ago. As Jazza says, let Kane win. And we're going on previous form. If he can get through qualifying, Brad, that will be a good effort because he's had his troubles, hasn't he, Crumpkin, in recent weeks?
He's definitely had his troubles when it comes to qualifying. It was a bit unfortunate at Australia too. He had a few problems with knocking off his front wing. And apparently last week he actually may have crashed out potentially while racing Danielson's Ghost. So hopefully that won't happen again this week.
No, let's hope. Fingers crossed. As DRC Jared says, poor guy. That's right, we're counting down. I guess we could play that intro. We might just do the SRL intro again as we get ready to start this one here tonight. It's round 2. Finally, we're going to get into the action shortly.
1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, pause, and it's go, go, go. Inside line for the next corner, they almost touch. This is so close. We've got this spicy battle in the remaining 4 laps of this race, and now they're side by side. Oh my goodness. Have you got any fingernails left here? Look at that. Wilco hangs it around the outside, foot to the floor, pedal to the metal. Who is he? But Carp Dude is fighting back. Oh, Jesus. Look at this. It's crisscross action. So, he's come out right in the middle of a pretty intense battle. Oh, look at this. You couldn't have got the timing any better, Carp Dude, because he's got Honest Crook. Look at that for a camera angle. Honest Crook in the Williams, BK, and the Ferrari of Hef. Look at that. What action we're seeing here tonight in both races. And Bubbles just sends Jacko a little bit wide, but Jacko sticking with it. And down the inside now, Big Donger for size. Just gets around the 2 of them. He says, piss off. I'm getting up into 3rd position. And is that Wilco? No, it's the 2 Big Dongers, Big Donger and Big Dick. Both going at it around the outside in a frantic opening lap of this race.
He loaded in this time, yes.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, right around the world. A big good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching, right around the world. I've said that a couple of times. We are finally loading in, and if you can see that tick next to Sam's name, he readied up. And DRC, who's the famous commentator? I don't know any famous commentators in this box. Well, we've got Bradley Marshall. So that's who you're talking about there. Thank you, DRC, Jared, Harry Ryan. I readied up, so did Sam. And we are finally, thank God, ready to go racing. And it's a shame, Brad, because we don't have a wet qualifying session at the moment anymore.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was actually looking forward to a wet qualifying. It would have brought everyone into it. I mean, we just got to wait and see. We'll hear from our man Wilco whether it's going to be a wet-affected race or not. But damn, that would have really thrown a spanner into the works.
Well, our man Wilco has been good enough to send the information about the weather through to us. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and all 13 of you sexy people at home, that we are looking at a dry qualifying and a dry race as well, Brad. So that's a little bit disappointing. I would have expected some spicy action with a wet race as we see the drivers come out onto the circuit here at Shanghai for the first time tonight.
It definitely would have added a whole completely different element to qualifying, because all the pre-practices they had done earlier were in the dry. So everything they would have learned about the track immediately would have went out the window, and it would have spiced up the positions. We may have seen the top guys down near the bottom of the end of the field, because you just don't know what the track conditions are like in the wet.
No, that's for sure. As we take a look at the Toro Rosso of Fubbles there coming out onto the circuit, DRC Jared, his teammate. And then Wilco saying the first session was wet, quali, and a dry race anyway. So either way, you would have had a dry race. But good to have Sam in this session anyway as we go through. Now, all the drivers looking to get out nice and early, Brad, and set a quick lap time. And the two Renaults there, are we going to see any slipstreaming? Oh, there's contact! Look
contact.
at this. Unbelievable. Big Donga there is out of this race. That's the same spot where Michael Schumacher came across a Minardi on the warm-up lap a few years ago here at China. But what happened there, Brad?
I don't really know what happened. I was on board with Bubbles, and then next minute I actually switched over to Donga as that was happening. It seems like he collided with Kart Dude, but that's really unfortunate for Donga, who is a strong contender in this championship.
Unfortunate for Donga indeed. He's out of this qualifying session, so the curse has started early as we take a look at the Toro Rosso coming out onto the main straight now to start the first flying lap of this qualifying session. The second qualifying session tonight. We had a wet qualifying session to start, but we couldn't get all the drivers loaded in. I'm not looking at you, Sam. But here we go, the Toro Rosso now, the number 12 of DRC Jared. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 3, but it's going to be interesting. 15 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Very important, Bradley, to get out, set a lap early, get a feel for the circuit, and just put some pressure on your opposition to try and get that decent lap time in the early part of the session, because you never know what can happen, can you, later in this session?
You definitely don't know what could happen. It's important to get a bunker lap in because, you know, that's just your safety net. Whether you go faster or slower, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as you get that one lap time in. As we see different choices between a lot of the drivers, majority of the field actually going for the soft tyre, which personally I believe is the wrong call. But we'll just wait and see whether it's just a bunker lap on those soft tyres, and then they'll switch to the medium to do an even better time on the medium.
So here we go then, riding on board with DRC Jared down that long back straight. The longest on the racing calendar now, as Sam has set a quick time, a 1:32.321. And here we go, out of the last corner then, DRC Jared and the Toro Rosso. What can he do across the line? And it's only a 1:34.6, so a couple of seconds off of Danielson now, who's just gone up to first in the Mercedes with a 1:32.3. And we're just going to try and get the gap to the leader. There we go, you can see there, look at that, very close between Sam and Danielson. And we're only early in this session as Mozza has joined us. And he says, guess who's back? Back again. Mozza's back. Don't spam the chat. No, just joking. Great to have you back, Mozza. Always making things great as always. And big hello to Jazza too, who's a Crumpkin man. But, well, look at this. We might just get off the Toro Rosso at the moment and take a look at Alex Mann, the man from Parramatta in Sydney. Good mates with Dean McKinnon. And won't make up any rugby league jokes, but he's a very nice man, a school teacher by trade, Bradley. And he is in the second Alfa Romeo tonight alongside Sam. He's currently 2.7 seconds off of provisional pole position. As Mozza says, you're a star, Trev. Thank you, Mozza. You're too kind. And, well, you've just... Alex there looking to let a bit of traffic through. As now we have a look at your man, Jezza. Or Jazza, whatever it is. But we're looking at the Haas now. And And here we go, Crumpton in the top 10, 6.8 seconds off of pole position at the moment, but what can he do? We might take a look at the pointy end of the field as Alex. He couldn't pick a worse time, could he, Brad, in that Alfa Romeo? He's pretty much good. He's had to move over for about 10 guys on that lap.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, but I believe he's just on a cool down lap. As you can see that he's got low fuel and not a lot of ERS to work with. So he's definitely on a in lap at the moment. A guy that's just about to start his lap is BK, Bailey Kennedy. So we'll see what he can do on the medium tyres, which I believe is the smartest strategy at the moment.
Yes, there we go. I think you've got the race and quali notes, Brad. So I'm just juggling a few screens at the moment, but there we go. So the medium tyre now for BK, the man formerly known as Trickshot Bailey Kennedy. And if anyone's watched that movie, A Dog's Purpose, I think that was the dog's name in the movie, Bailey, Bailey, Bailey. But I can't watch that sort of stuff, Brad. It's a bit of a tearjerker for me. Anything to do with the pooches, as Mozza wants to know, where's our man Wilco? Well, our man Wilco is right there. There you can see him on your screen now. We will go in case of emergency. We'll use that one tonight, but we already have a couple of times. But BK going against the grain here, young Bradley. Everybody either on the soft tyres or the hard tyres, but he's just doing things a little bit differently, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to just change it up and change the strategy, don't you, if you're going to just do things a little bit differently tonight.
He's definitely done his homework. As I was saying previous, the soft tyres aren't necessarily the tyre you want to be on. So these guys that have set a relative fast time, like Danielson, Samchan, and Bubbles, in the race, those tyres are only going to last about 6 to 8 laps, and they're going to fall off really quickly. So while they may have track position, it's not necessarily the best thing, because you're going to be pitting way earlier than the guys that are going to be qualifying on the medium or hard tyres.
No doubt about that, as BK, Brad, just his time good enough for third position on the grid so far. As we'll just take a look, there we go, the fastest laps on your screen. So 3 drivers in the 1 minute 32s. We've got a few drivers in the 1:33s. As Mozza just saying, what happened to Donga? Very disappointed. Well, Donga, I'm not sure, Brad, whether he went for one of his famous Donga dive bombs, but he did make contact with, I think it was one of the Williams cars, and he was out of the session very early indeed. As Sam says, Mozza, can I please have your autograph? And Harry saying, bring back North Melbourne career mode, Mozza. So I'm sure that I follow Mozza's YouTube channel, Brad. I'm sure that he's subscribed to this one as well. But with 9.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, we might just keep flicking through at the moment as Fubbles is in the pit lane. DRC Jared, Harry Ryan still in the pits as the Hef in the number 69 Ferrari. So Ferrari 7th and 8th at the moment, Brad. Not looking good so far.
Not looking too good at the moment, only 7th and 8th, but they are on the hard tyres, and if they really want to try, they can switch to the mediums and go even faster. So I don't believe this is going to be their final grid slots, but even if it still is, they have a better strategy for the race. Like I said, if you're on the soft tyre for the race, it's going to be a detriment. It's not the best strategy here. We've done our homework, and they fall off really quickly. So those guys pumping in the fast times on the softs might want to just watch out in the race, because I don't think it's going to go to plan how they thought it would.
Ferrari then playing the long game, like you said, Brad, as Harry saying, bring back North Melbourne career mode, Mozza. Yep, good old North Melbourne. They're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team to something just for you and me. And Big Shep saying, who let the dogs out? Woof, 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 woof. And great stuff down there. Big Shep, who's he hasn't let us know whether he is at the Beach Hut Brewery in Scoresby, Victoria, but now it's all about this man. Let us know, Big Shep. Keep your comments coming in, everybody else. It's great to have you on the stream tonight. And as Hef comes into the pit lane, that famous pit lane where Lewis Hamilton lost the championship back in 2007. BK also looking for the North Melbourne career mode now as we flick through Taking a look at Cart Dude, currently down in P10. He looks like he's on a stonking lap. He looks like he's very racy on this lap, Bradley.
He definitely does. As you see, he's using overtake in his ERS at the moment. He's managed that quite well. It'll be interesting to see if he can go any faster on these hard tyres. Another one to look out for that hasn't done a lap is V8 Man, so our man Dano. So we may see him jump up a few spots as well. But I believe Cart Dude will switch to the mediums for his last run.
Here we go, across the line. Cart Dude then will stick with this Williams as Big Shep says, what's another word for Chinese 69 181? I don't like where this is going, Big Shep. And Jazza saying, we are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. And you'd want to be on the ball this week, of course, against the West Coast Eagles in the semi-final at the MCG. Too bad you can't play that one down at Cardinia Park, but Brad's got no idea what I'm talking about, of course, because I'm talking about AFL. And Big Mozza says it's confirmed Harry and BK up and about. Can we please keep it about Formula One here, fellas? Otherwise, I'll have to go, Brad, with my Chinese one-liner jokes, and we don't want that tonight.
No, we definitely don't want that. I believe Dane's on the lap at the moment, so I'm just riding on board with the McLaren. I cannot wait until we have a night race to see the McLaren under the lights because it looks beautiful. As we just have Sam Cham retire from the session. He's sitting in pole at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if anyone can knock him off, but I believe at the moment he may have pole because of what the other guys are going to be running this session.
So 5 minutes remaining. Back to China now, lads, says Mozza. And Honest Crook saying, BK, you've just become my best friend now as we ride on board with the Mercedes car. And 132.1 something or other. Now he's greyed out on that screen, so Sam has retired. It was good to have him in the session in the first place, Brad, but now he's retired anyway. And Daniel's son, and it's very, very close there. And HSV as well, who's very close. So 4 or 5 drivers in the 132. Sam, you cannot do any more than what you've done with a tick over 5 minutes to go. And I've got to ask you, Brad, why are there no Disneylands in China? It's because no one's tall enough to go on the good rides.
Oh my god. Okay, I was not expecting that.
Oh no! Either was Danielson.
Danielson.
Because he is off and he has retired from the session. Let us know if you want to hear any more insulting Chinese jokes. The number 15 lemon chicken down at my local noodle box is just terrific. As look at that DRC Jared. He's New Zealand Ryan there. He's called it. He's saying that he should do a 31 on mediums if he doesn't bottle it. But well, he's on the hard tyres, Brad, so that's not going to work at the moment for him.
It's definitely not going to work at the moment. And something I want to point out is he's done 6 laps on those hard tyres. I don't necessarily understand why in a qualifying session. I mean, maybe for a bit more practice, but that's a bit of a weird strategy call there. But it's going to be scary to see if he can hit a 31 on the mediums.
Very scary indeed. I've got to say, that is some serious pace. That's almost PC Xbox pace. F1 eSport, it's a pace. As Shep, yes, he says, Big Shep, he says, yes, we are at the Beach Hut Brewery in Scoresby, Victoria, 3179. I'll give you my address a little bit later on this evening, so you can send me a case of Shane's finest hops, wheat and barley. I think you can send me the recipe. That would be magnificent, and some free samples tonight, Brad. And Sam is just, I'm not too sure whether we can say that on the screen, something about X-Matty G. But 3 minutes, less than 3.5 minutes remaining in this session. And what a bizarre coincidence. The 2 drivers that have locked out the front row of this grid, Bradley, have both crashed out of this session.
Yeah, bit of a weird coincidence. I mean, I feel as though they've definitely locked it out. I mean, Jared is still yet to do a time on the medium, so he may come out and blitz everyone. Currently on board with our man Wilco on the lap. He's now on the medium tyres, so we should see his time improve. And for the guys that are inside that top 10, they don't have a free choice of tyre into the race. So those guys on the softs, they're going to be incredibly vulnerable in the race.
And we've just got to apologise to our man Sam, who says that I didn't crash, I pressed retire. And the bit of the shrug of the shoulders there. Honest Crook saying the front two get fresh tyres, apparently. That's a bit like the party at the Chinese Zoo. Apparently it was pandemonium, as look at that shot there of Wilco coming through the final corner, turn 16 across the line. He's up to P5. P5 Forza Ferrari. They want to be happy with that, though. They'll want more. And now he's stuck behind a Toro Rosso, which is not going to be good for his final run on this in this session, of course. So just under 2 minutes now, so the pressure's on, Brad. If you haven't set a time, you've got to get out there and do it pretty quickly.
Yeah, you definitely got to get out now and get it done. I believe the latest you'd want to leave the pits is 2 minutes, as we saw a major debacle this past weekend at Italy, where everyone held each other up because nobody wanted to be first. I don't believe this is the case tonight, so we should see everyone at least get one more attempt at their lap. P5, I mean, you're just ahead of the midfield, so, I mean, he's looking like he's in a good spot at the moment, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yes, we will. Just over a minute now in this session as Jazza. Oh, I've got the car noises back too, so that's a relief, but a minute to go in this session, like I said. And Jazza saying, what's your favourite song? Well, simple answer to that is there's far too many of those. But just remembering back to last weekend at the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, I think it was only Carlos Sainz who managed to get through before the checkered flag waved in Q3. And you'd expect nothing less from the smooth operator. Smooth operator. Good stuff, Carlos Sainz there, but that was an absolute shambles. As we're riding now with Harry Ryan 19 on the medium tyre, so electing to try both compounds. DRC Jarrett on the hard tyres there with a 132.9. Very scary. The man who's got plenty of pace apparently, and not afraid to use it. Just seconds remaining in this session. 18 people watching the live stream. Unbelievable numbers tonight. Get your comments in. Everybody, please do us a favour and subscribe to this channel. And New Zealand Ryan saying Jarrett apparently didn't take his fuel out. And out of the goat. That's a big call, calling him the goat. But here's Harry anyway. Session is finished. Checkered flags waving across the coming up to the final corner now in the AMG Mercedes car. There we go, all straight into the pits. So he hasn't elected to finish that lap. So the top four drivers have all retired. The Ferrari there, Car Dude, is he on a lap now? I think the checkered flag's out for a few of these drivers if they haven't retired. No, Car Dude's retired already. DRC Jarrett, we might just ride on board with him. He is on the medium tyres, and he's looking very pacey here indeed, Bradley.
He definitely is. I've been on board with him since the start of the lap. I believe, like, from my point of view, I thought he was catching Jason, but Jason was on a slow down lap. So it'll be interesting to see what Jared can put out here. I tell you what, it's going to be scary if he can pump out that 31 that he had previously done in the Xbox League. So we'll see if he can do it here on the PS4.
Here we go then, here we go. 132.9, can he get pole position? Oh no, he's just missed out. He's just missed out by the skin of his ballsack. But still, it's good enough for a front row starter, 132.299. And that is, he's just missed out. Is there anybody else still on a lap here? No, Wilco's coming into the pits, and that is everyone, I think, Bradley. So it's Sam, who couldn't get into the session for the first time tonight, has taken pole position, and Ryan, New Zealand Ryan, is pretty pissed off, eh? He's pretty pissed off. He says that is disgusting. He's not a happy camper at all, Brad.
No, definitely not. I believe, the softs did give Sam Cham the edge there. Still an incredible time to only be 1/10 off pole position when they're on the soft tyres and Jared is on the medium tyres. So that's a job well done. It's definitely put him in a good position for the race.
There we go, and DRC Jared, boy, he just likes he likes pumping himself up, doesn't he? There we go, 9 laps of fueling. But there we go, the final results of this qualifying session. Sam has taken pole position there for Alfa Romeo, racing ahead of DRC Jared, who's just up and about tonight. He's pretty confident. Danielson there in third, HSV in fourth, the man from Parramatta, and then it's BK, Bailey there, P6 for Ferrari. Disappointed for him, no Forza Ferrari there. And then it's Cartoon in P7, Fubbles with his little sweaty hands in P8, Harry Ryan in P9 in the second Mercedes. Then it's the Hef rounding out the top 10. And the rest of the drivers outside of the top 10 probably aren't even important enough to mention, Brad, but they will start on a fresh set of tyres, as my goodness gracious me, these are world record numbers here tonight, Bradley. 22 people currently watching this stream.
22 people, and we thought 17 was a bit wild earlier while we were having the off-script moment. But 22 people, that's great. That's more people than we have on the grid. So
I'll tell you what, unbelievable stuff. More followers than Jesus tonight as we get ready to go racing here. And DRC Jared says, I wasn't even joking, fellas. I'm really pissed off. Well, hopefully your man DRC... oh no, actually, sorry, I'm getting those two mixed up. Oh boy, he's not a Kiwi. He could very well be a Kiwi, but boy, I've put my foot in it. I might have to go with a Chinese joke soon if things don't pick up. But we're getting ready to go racing here at the moment. The good news is that Sam is Sam's loaded in now, and DRC Jared says, I'm not pissed off. I'm very happy indeed. As one of the Renaults there, slow to get away. It looks like it's Bailey there, but drivers away on their formation lap. And what is going through their minds at the moment? Brad, you're a guy who's been in this situation many times before on this game and the previous games. And what are you thinking on the formation lap? Are you just looking to get the car settled, get the tyres warmed up, and get ready for the start of the race?
that's exactly what you're trying to do. You just, you got to stay focused, warm up the tyres, warm up the brakes. You just got to do everything possible to get, as we got contact there with... What is that Williams doing? So just got interrupted by Kart Dude being a bit wild on the formation lap. It's very important to warm up the tyres and have them at the optimal temperature. Sam Champ's taking this incredibly slow, and we've got the cars behind him passing. I think you got to go a bit faster than that, Sam.
You sure do. That's for sure. As DRC Jared saying, WTF, what the f*** was that? And Sam going very, very slowly there. Can't do making some contact. But what are we doing here? Formation lap or ping pong? It's crazy. As look at this, the drivers just heating up their tyres. And I think a few people acting a bit naughty on the formation lap. They might have gone back to the starting grid. They might have teleported back to the starting grid. But it's going to be interesting to see. We're in for a good old spicy ding-dong battle, I think, here, Brad, with Sam and DRC Jared both showing plenty of pace, and HSV up there as well. So we're in for a spicy night, I reckon.
We definitely are. We'll see a few ding-dong battles here and a few spicy moments. The guys on the softs, like I said, it'll give them an edge for about a lap or so. But after that, it won't be much of an advantage to them. And Jared showed unbelievable pace, so I wouldn't be surprised if Jared's in an overtaking situation by the end of the lap on Sam.
There we go then. So a nice picture of the Chinese crowd here tonight is Dwayne Cameron. I think that's how you say that. He says he is partying down there with the Big Shep at the Beach Hut Brewery. Unbelievable stuff. And Mozza says, oh my God, OMG. And New Zealand Ryan says that's interesting. And warm-up laps so difficult, as now we're off to the starting grid now. I'm not sure what's happening there, but we are ready to go racing here. 28 laps of the Shanghai circuit here in China. And I'm not sure why it keeps going back to the... what's going on here?
Switch to compact.
There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. out, and it's go, go, go for China. And a good start there. We'll go back to the front of the grid. Sam under pressure early, and it's Danielson into the lead. Unbelievable stuff. DRC Jared loses a place off the line. BK in fourth. Oh boy, HSV maintains his position off the line, but it's the Mercedes-Benz who leads through the first couple of corners here in Shanghai. DRC Jared in second place, but an awful start there from Sam, Brad. He's lost 2 places off the start line.
It was definitely an odd start for him. Probably didn't warm his tyres up enough, to be honest. May have got a bit of wheel spin also at the start. But Danielson getting a really good start and putting himself in the prime position at the moment. He's seven tenths in front of Jared, but I believe that gap will close really quickly.
There we go. Mozza saying Danielson obviously eaten his porridge today. He sure has. He's a second in front. Yellow flag in sector 2. But let's go through this order. It's Danielson, then Jared, then Sam, then HSV, the man from Parramatta ahead of Cart Dude in the Williams. Look at this down the long back straight, the longest in Formula 1. Honest saying, settle down, Tiger. Not to get too excited there. And is that Jared there breaking the toe on the main straight? As now Cart Dude. Or down the inside of HSV. And he can't quite make it stick, Brad. Unbelievable. So HSV maintains his position, but now Cart Dude has dropped a couple of places. What a hectic opening lap we've had here tonight.
What a hectic opening lap we have had. I believe Jared is either warming up his tyres or, yes, trying to break the toe, as I did see him weaving previous on the first lap. As we see Cart Dude getting on the outside, now the inside of BK, bit of contact there. Now, we've got a nice little battle group between Dean, BK, Cart Dude. Jace is just a tiny bit behind, and then we also got Harry. So this mid-pack is all on each other as Harry goes for an audacious dive bomb there and doesn't get the position. Wilco manages to just stay in front by a hair.
And this is pressure personified tonight. Lap 2 out of 28. We've been assured that we're going to have a dry race tonight, of course, although those clouds look pretty sinister. But here we go then, the Mercedes-Benz of Harry Ryan, his teammate, is out in front, but not by much. DRC Jared looking good up the front there as we'll go through the order. Big Donger. Remember to keep your eyes open for a big dive bomb. Donger's dive bombs as Fubbles. Those hands will not be getting any less sweaty at the moment as there's a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3 as well. Hef there outside of the points. Ferrari won't be happy with that as Big Dick Johnson in P12. Is he going to make a move on Hef down the main straight? No DRS yet, but he goes down the inside, locks his wheels on the hard tyres, and he's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, strict corner cutting. You can't do that, Brad.
No, you can't, and I'm a bit surprised to actually see a corner cutting penalty here in China, as Jared actually managed to get past Danielson on the biggest straight on the in the calendar in F1. So Jared's now pulled out a 6/10 lead, and like I mentioned before, these soft tyres were not going to last, as we see Danielson just falling behind. It'll be interesting to see if he can stick with him, but I don't believe he will. BK's in a good position to end up in second place at the moment, because the guys on these soft tyres will have to pit earlier.
Unbelievable then, all this action, and we're only on lap 3 out of 28, side by side, the Williams and the Ferrari. Cart Dude and Wilco sticking to the inside, make that the outside now as, they almost touched, didn't they? This is unbelievable. Wilco unusually off the pace a little bit in qualifying, but lap 3, so we're going to have DRS enabled, and I reckon he's going to fancy having a shot at him down this main straight, Brad.
He definitely will, and as you would have just seen, he was running no ERS to use it all on this straight here as he goes into overtake. Now, he'll wait for the DRS, and he should be able to catch Brody, but I believe Brody may be catching Dean, so it's a bit hard to pass with the DRS here, but I mean, anything's possible. It's Wilco, it's been spun.
Wilco has been turned around. It didn't happen for him last week, and it hasn't happened for him again this week.
Donger.
And it
He
might have
got a
been...
5-second penalty for a collision with Jason.
Well, it might have been one of those. We were just singing that song a moment ago, Brad, and look what happened.
Yeah, good old dong and dive bomb, but unfortunately went a bit wrong, and we see both Ferraris in 11th and 12th.
Oh,
and
no!
Did he lose a bit of his front wing there?
It looked to me as though he lost front of his part of the front of his front wing end plate there. So we've got Ferrari, McLaren, Ferrari, and oh boy, who pulls rank on this one there? Hef looking to have a go at his teammate. Unbelievable.
We saw last week that Hef was able to have a better run than Jason, with Jason having a moment in the first corner. As we see Jason just letting Hef by, as I believe Wilco's got some damage and may just be conserving himself for now and doing the smart thing and letting his teammate chase after those McLarens ahead of him.
As BK's falling down the order, I reckon something's happened to BK. He has spun, so the Renault of BK has spun out. And he's hit the wall as well there. Let's hope he doesn't do a Sebastian Vettel here and come straight back onto the circuit. But you saw there a moment ago, Hef just going through. I think Wilco might have let him through. And the team radio might have been that Hef is faster than you. Confirm you acknowledge. So the Ferrari there, Hef inside the top 10. So a disastrous race for the Ferrari team with just one car in the points. And boy, BK, he's dropped 8 places with that mistake, Brad. Not good for him either.
Yeah, definitely not good for him, considering he's definitely looked strong so far in this championship with taking the win last week. This is definitely not what he would have wanted, as Jason's unfortunately found himself in the ward again, and he's not necessarily going to like that. He's going to switch to the hard tyres more than likely, and he'll be trying to run those tyres as far as he can into the race. Like I said before, with Jared out front, he's pulled a 6-second gap on Danielson now. That really shows how bad these soft tyres are around this track.
Certainly does. There we go. And you can see the fastest lap. Look at that, a 1:35.869 for the man on your screen, which is roughly 1 and a bit seconds. That's a long, long way ahead of anybody else. Now we'll keep flicking through the order then. Danielson in the McLaren Mercedes, I beg your pardon, there in P2. Then it's Sam, who got pole position, but he's dropped a couple of places off the line. And HSV. So Dean McKinnon keeping him honest as, well, talking about keeping him honest here. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, Cart Dude's got DRS, Brad, but I reckon that HSV is DRSing Sam. So they're having a bit of a DRS off at the moment. They go wide. Oh! And was that a bit of Red Bull front wing, or was that a bit of Alfa Romeo front wing? I'm not too sure, but HSV is through, and they're both into the pits.
They're both into the pits. Oh, Dean spun it into the pits. Oh.
And Dean, well, where do you go? And now he's hit him again. Big Dino. What's going on, guys? I'm not too sure, Dean, at all. That looked like an unsafe release as the Red Bull's into the pits now. Off go the medium tyres, on go the hard tyres again. Jazza, just calm down there. Jazza, who says Kano, and Wilco. Oh, there's all sorts of unsafe release action going on. It's messing with my OCD at the moment, Brad. But Dean back out. And what on earth is going on here with Dean? All kinds of crazy shenanigans here tonight. It must be the Chinese New Year or something. Oh, there's contact!
Oh, contact!
Oh my
massive contact!
God, Dean! The man from Parramatta is...
You can't do that!
No, you can't do that, Crofty. And now Sam's retired from the session, and I don't think we'll get a mention on his Facebook page either, because he'll be very, very pissed off with that, Brad.
I would be very pissed off with that. Unfortunate for Sam, he was looking really good before the pit stop. I did see that it popped up that he got a 5-second penalty for contact for causing a collision with Dean. So maybe they had a collision in the pit lane, but that doesn't explain what happened once they both got out of the pit lane, which was quite odd, and I don't think I've ever seen it before. As Dean's dropped a lot of positions as well, he may have front wing damage, but that was quite odd.
There we go then. Jason has got up into P11. P11 will go head down, head down. You need to focus, you need to focus. That's what the Ferrari mechanics will be saying to him in that cockpit. As now we go to your man Jazza. Good old Jazza Donsky says, Kano, who's, he'll just be asking a few questions of himself, I reckon, Brad, in that Haas, who's down in P12. BK has fallen, well, he's fallen 8 places. Not as bad as HSV, though, who's gone down 10 places now on the hard tyres. And will we be expecting those hard tyres to go through until the end of the race? And he's in again! What is going on here, Bradley?
I'm not quite sure. I believe he may have lost a bit of front wing, or even he may have not even got his front wing changed. So that could have been the problem, that they didn't change his front wing, as they still show a front wing and then put another front wing on. But okay, that's unfortunate for him. I was just on board with Danielson, who was catching right up with Righty, but a bit of contact and Danielson was sent round. It's been an interesting race. A lot of the contenders have fallen away in this one. I mean, Jared's remarkable and got a 14-second lead, so he's doing a bit of Lewis Hamilton here.
Gets in there, Lewis. Oh my God. So DRC Jared, I tell you what, Red Bull are going to be running out of front wings shortly, given the rate at which Compact and HSV are going here tonight. But DRC, he's almost got a pit stop in hand as Dwayne Cameron from the Beach Hut Brewery down in Scoresby says, Big Shep wants to know who's Rubbin Racing. Rubbin Racing, first of all, let me know whether I've said that correctly. First of all, let me know if I'm saying your name right. And then I can work out Big Shep's joke. But Alex down there in P16, DRC Jared, he's just having a Sunday drive, Bradley. He's got his cup of tea, and he's just dunking the tea bag in, a couple of biscuits there, all out on his own. And can this be boring for a driver if you're so far in front? I wonder if he's going to get bored out there.
I don't know. I mean, does Lewis Hamilton ever get bored when he's leading a race for so many seconds? We just don't know. But like you said, just a casual Sunday drive for him. I would like to point out that BK had a moment and he did spin, as Righty's been disqualified from the session. I would also like to point out that Compact is supposed to be in the Haas, but since he joined the session late, they put him into the Red Bull. So,
well, you know the rule, Brad. He's currently down in P13, and he's a few seconds off of his teammate, so given Red Bull's history, he might not be in the Red Bull next week, so he could go back to Haas. He could be demoted.
It's definitely possible, as both Red Bulls aren't in the points, so maybe they'll just replace the whole team.
Maybe they will. Dean won't be happy with that, as Dwayne Cameron says, yes, you've got my name right. Dwayne, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Trevor, and this is Brad, my co-commentator, and you are watching the best stream in the country, live and exclusive here on the Kid Buyers channel. Brad, where on earth would you rather be? I'll answer that question for you. Nowhere, because this is where you want to be at the moment. I wish Jared would just ease off the pace a bit to make it half interesting, though. But lap 9 out of 28 here at the beautiful Shanghai circuit in China. I won't go with my famous Chinese one-liner jokes, but I will if the race gets a little bit boring. But there we go, Jared in P1, Harry Ryan in P2, the man who was going to take victory last week. As something's going on, Brad. I can tell by the tone of your voice.
Down in P9 and 10, Big Donga and Wilco are coming together again. I believe Donga went for another dive bomb on Wilco, and then Wilco tried to sneak it up the inside. There was a little bit of contact, but I don't believe Jace is going to be happy with himself here. Down in P10, he's finding himself in a similar situation to last week, which is unfortunate for him.
And not good for us either. There is speculation around the SRL ranks that we favour this man we're riding with in the Ferrari, Jason Wilkinson. As Honest Crook says, is this China or Springvale? Very, very funny there, Honest Crook, very funny indeed. And Jazza saying, Trevor, Yep, that's my name, and Big Donger. I wonder if he's going to give him a taste of his own medicine, Brad, with one of his famous Big Donger dive bombs. Keep your eyes open for a dive bomb. Big Donger. But Wilco now, he's got DRS, ERS, you name it, he's got it, but he's still too far. He's going to go down, he's going to give him one. He's going to give Big Donger a dive bomb down the inside, and he's through. Oh, but Big Donger says, piss off, I'm going to come back with the switch move. And he's got that place back, but now Wilco will have the benefit of DRS onto the main straight, Brad, and he'll have another crack at him here.
He's definitely going to have another crack as Big Donger tries to cover him off. But these two are having an absolute monster of a battle for the very tail end of the points here. P9 and 10, probably not where you'd expect to see these two guys, as it's nice hard racing that they're doing with each other. And I gotta say, I appreciate that we have nice hard racing now. I'm not a fan of penalties or anything like that, but to see these guys go tooth and nail at each other, it's really enjoyable to watch.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more, Brad. That is why we are such a good team, always agreeing with each other. We want to see hard racing, but we want to see fair racing as we're going to keep going here. As DRC Jared, I reckon you can safely put that one to bed. He's just put in a fastest lap of a 1:35.570. As Dwayne Cameron says, Springvale, LOL. Honest Crook, it's actually Scoresby down there. Oh, I'm missing a dive bomb. Was that, sorry about that, I was just shitting onto myself there, but he's through now, is he? What's going on there? Both on the hard compound tyres, and Wilco's finally through and up to P9.
Donger actually went for a bit of an audacious dive bomb, and he let Wilco back through. It was a bit of a... wasn't really on for a dive bomb, so I gotta say that was well done by Donger to hand the position back, because he did chuck it right up Wilco's inside and did make severe contact.
Well, you might say, Brad, that the big dive bomb wasn't on, and Big Donger just putting it up the inside, not where he needed to be there. But P9, P10, we'll get in trouble, Brad. We're spending too much time on Wilco, but now we're back to Jazz's man, who's got a little bit of a fetish, I think, for Crumpkin. How good is Crumpkin Kano? Kane Leishman, the man driving this Haas car, he's all out on his own, and he's a bit like DRC Jared tonight, Brad. He's absolutely out on his own, but not in the position where he'd like to be. As Big Shep says, with Jared being that far out in front, he's got time to go through the McDonald's drive-through, Brad. That's not a bad idea. Large fries, large Coke, and maybe a couple of cheeseburgers.
Oh, sounds lovely. Wouldn't you love that as an F1 driver? Yeah, you're out in front, you know, make a little stop at McDonald's, and you still got the lead of the race. As I would like to point out, what a job both McLarens are doing, and also Hef. They're in 4th, 5th, and 6th, and they're in a nice little battle pack at the moment here, so it might be interesting to see as Cartridge pitted, so they've all been escalated a position. But it'll be interesting to see if Hef can get in between these two McLarens here. They're all nice and close together.
So, what a magnificent performance by the McLarens. Back to their glory days in the late 80s, of course. Thank you, Murray. But Big Dick Johnson in P3, very nicely indeed. Look at that, Hef also keeping them honest. As Jazza says, I could sure go for some nuggets right now and stop everything, Brad, because Robbie Pearson, Rob Dog 1996, says Wilco better drive faster for the Reich. Oh, that's a little inside joke, which nobody else would get apart from us. But Rob Dog, I just want to say, first of all, I love you, and thanks for joining us. Oh, Jesus! We've got a bit of Senna Prost McLaren action, if you don't mind, Brad. And look at that. I'm not sure what happened there, but they're both side by side. And the Ferrari of Hef is going to benefit from this, but look at these scenes. Look at these scenes, Brad. Unbelievable racing.
Unbelievable scenes. I believe John may have had a little moment, and he's come back on track to stay in front of his teammate, but oh man, what a rivalry we have at the moment. As the Ferrari's gone down the inside. Oh, and he's run deep.
Oh, Hef just putting it where he shouldn't have. Story of my life, but he has not, and he's into the pits now. And Hef is into the pits, and he might be trying to undercut those two, but what a battle as Harry's into the pits. Harry Ryan, 19, who was having a bit of a slash all on his own there in P2. He's into the pits now, and where's he going to come out as Hef now? Off go the medium tyres, on go the hards. So that will see him through to the end of the race, Bradley. What a spicy bit of action we've got coming up.
Yeah, it'll definitely see him through to the end of the race as Danielson's out in front of him, so I imagine Mercedes won't want to pull rank just yet, but I don't believe those mediums, which have done 7 laps already, are going to go to the end of the race, so Harry may very well be calling rank eventually. But what a drive by these two McLarens, in second and third at the moment. Yes, they haven't pitted, but they're both on the hard tyre, which means they will switch to the medium with a certain amount of laps to go. Hef was doing a really good job keeping with them and made a very audacious dive bomb move, but boy, was it a joy to call. I did see that Wilco did pick up a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits before.
Well, stop the presses, but let's just take a moment to appreciate these two, V8 Man 51 and Big Dick Johnson, Jono and Dane. Dane, one of our beloved regulars, of course, Brad, a man that we love, know and love very, very much, of course. Rarely reacts to any of my Facebook posts without the love emoji, love reaction, I should say, but up in P2 and P3, and he's made up 10 places, yet to pit stop, but yet to have a pit stop, but it still could work out very nicely for them, as Robbie says. Sam says, yep, I messed up, sorry gents, no worries, there's always next week, Sam. And Robbie says, I probably should get the game just to beat Wilco. Shots fired there, Robbie. And Rob Dog, we'd love to see you with the game. A man, of course, who I've called plenty of racing action with over the last few years, as Dane goes a little bit deep into that corner. But when are these two going to make their stops? And indeed, because they're battling each other so hard out there at the moment, Brad, it could possibly have an impact on their race at the moment. You should just keep getting DRS off each other, boys.
I believe they are getting DRS off each other, like they've constantly stayed within 1 second of each other. But the thing to point out was our leader, Jared, pitted and come out ahead of these two by some margin. So definitely your Sunday drive for him. Yeah, these two McLarens will have to look out for the two Mercedes behind them, because if they battle too hard, those Mercedes will catch up real quick.
There we go, as the rumour file from Mozza says Sam Cham under pressure to retain his Alfa Romeo seat as the two McLarens going hammer and tongs yet again. Lap 14 out of 28. Make that 15 now, but half the race gone and half still to go, Brad. Lap 15 out of 28. This is the SRL F1 2019 Chinese Grand Prix, and now Big Dick Johnson is going to stick it right up the inside of Dane, and he is into P2, but Dane is going to come back. Oh, the little spicy Italian meatball that he is. He's not giving this one up without a fight, and he keeps his position, Brad. These two are having an awesome battle out there.
These two definitely are having an awesome battle as they're going back and forth between each other. One will take the inside, another one will take the outside, switchbacks here and there. It's amazing to see. As I will point out, I believe Harry did call rank on Danielson, or Danielson just wasn't able to keep up with him on the older medium tyres, but Harry did pass Danielson.
So, while these two McLarens are having a good old battle of their own, let's just recap what's happened in this race. We might get back to those two McLarens in a moment, but look at that, DRC Jared in front by 10 seconds there, and was there some contact there? But let's just stick with this one. Will Dane send it down the inside? It's a long run down this straight, over a kilometre, and lap 15 out of 28, half the race distance, of course. And Grinner, Big Grinner has joined us and says, Beach Hut boys, party, party, party. And Rafa says, great to see you guys still racing, and just nearly trying to go through there but not quite getting the job done. And it's great to have your company, Rafa. I've met you in real life, and you're a top bloke down there at the Grand Prix many, many years ago. But thanks for joining us. 13 people watching the live stream. Remember, if you want to get involved, srl.com.au, add all the W's. If you want to get in on this action, 17 drivers started the race, Bradley, and on lap 16, we've only got 14 left here at this race.
Surprisingly, not a lot of retirees, which is great to see, actually. Unfortunate for the ones that did somewhat crash and had to retire the car. Unfortunate for Ryder, he was disqualified, so I believe that he may have spun and the game's just disqualified him for it, which is unfortunate. It does happen, but we're still got 14 people there, and we've got the two McLarens still having a ding-dong battle. The lap previous, there was a bit of contact between Jono and Dane. That was why Dane lost out on a bit of ground, but he's right behind Jono again. I believe the longer these two stay out and fight, the more they're going to drop down the field, as the field are definitely catching them.
They certainly are catching them here. So lap 16 now, and you can just see Big Dick Johnson trying to break the toe. But is he going to have a crack down the inside? He looks very, very close now, Dane. And he'll be saying all sorts of Italian words under that crash helmet, Brad, because I think he's through. But is Big Dick Johnson going to have another go? And the longer this continues, I reckon it's going to have an impact that's going to drop them back into the clutches of the two Mercedes drivers of Harry and Danielson. As Alex there going down the field. In fact, that could be Crumpkin, as there's some sort of microwave joke happening there. Good to see Elmer Jacko on the live stream asking about Rafa's microwave, and Mozza saying 72-time league racing champion, can I please get your autograph? I think he's talking about Jacko, because I haven't won that many league racing titles, Brad. But with 11 laps to go then in this race, who can you see? Can you see anybody challenging DRC Jared at this point in time, as I think one of the McLarens have pitted as well, Bradley?
Yes, it was Big Dog Jono that pitted. It was probably the right call. I mean, it did drop him down to 7th and actually behind Hef. So they'll have a nice little battle, but I don't really see anyone knocking off Jared. He's got a 15-second lead, and I mean, if we remove Dano, who's still yet to pit, he's got 23 seconds over Harry Ryan. But who I would like to point out, and who's actually having a fantastic drive at the moment, is actually Fubbles. He's up in P4, and he's ahead of Cart Dude by 2 seconds, and he's 10 seconds behind Harry Ryan, but still, to be in P4, that's an incredible drive at the moment.
An absolutely incredible drive from Fubbles. The man who we still call Fubbles, Brad, despite his PSN being changed to SPYE2WAU, which I think is something to do with Scott Pye, but we will have to confirm that. But we do talk about this man's extremely sweaty palms a lot, Brad, but currently he could be the driver of the day at the moment. I'm not sure, I can't remember where he started on the grid, but that is a terrific effort in that Toro Rosso.
Definitely a terrific effort, and he definitely could have driver of the day potential, as we see Dane pit, and he's going to fall down the field by some margin, as we have Hef and Jono going at it, the McLaren and the Ferrari. So we've got an old school battle again between McLaren and Ferrari like the 98 and 99 season.
There we go, Hakkinen versus Irvine. Ooh, who could remember that? But what's going on further down? Wilco there, so
Dano actually come out ahead of Hess after he pit, so that's interesting.
That's interesting, he certainly did, as DRC Jared will just go through the fastest laps of the race. Will we? Fastest lap there on your screen now as we ride on board with V8 Man, who, like you said, Brad, came out ahead of Hef after his one and only pit stop there. So that strategy looking very good for the McLarens at the moment. But have a look at those lap times, Brad. A 1:34.949, almost 2 seconds quicker than Harry Ryan. So, you've got to say, out front there tonight, Brad, Jared simply taking the piss here tonight.
Jared is simply taking the piss here. as I was just watching Jono get past Alex, who's at the back. He definitely didn't make that look easy as a back marker who's getting lapped by the field. So he may actually want to stick to the inside and not get in the way of these drivers that are actually battling for position.
It's always very hard, isn't it? But he didn't seem to get out of the way there awfully quickly. I wonder if he'll do the same for Wilco. Otherwise, who could forget that famous Sebastian Vettel song? Blue flag, blue flag, blue flag, blue flag. Come on, blue flag. As lap 19 out of 28 now, like we said, Jared up in P1 there, taking the absolute piss in this race, and he's going to win it, all barring some sort of catastrophic failure or catastrophic internet failure. I don't know if his mum pulls out the old Wi-Fi plug or something, but here we go. The two McLarens are going at it again. I'm not too sure, Brad, whether we're spending too much time on this battle, but it is very spicy, and it's remaining spicy in the last few laps.
It's definitely remaining spicy, and I believe it's the right battle to be on, to be honest. We have Fumbles that's 37 seconds behind, Carthage that's 38, and then the two McLarens that are 40 seconds behind, and then Hef and Jason following them up. So they've all converged on each other, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out on top, as the McLarens are on the medium tyre, which may just be the right tyre to go towards the end of this race, as the guys ahead on the harder tyres, like Bubbles and Cartoon, have done 12 and 7 laps, while the McLarens have only done 2 and 1 lap on their medium tyres. So all these guys could converge on each other.
As Crumpkin has retired from this race. So Jazza, who was watching a moment ago, as V8 man, 3-second time penalty there. You saw it on your screen. He cut that final corner a little bit too fine. As BK there saying that Renault had some serious pace to do some serious damage today. And it's a shame that it's looking like just 1 point for us. And New Zealand Ryan says Big Man Harry with the comeback drive. Thanks for that, New Zealand Ryan. He probably doesn't even talk like that, Brad, hey, but it just gets funnier, doesn't it, every time we talk like that?
It definitely does. I believe Nemo, good old Nemo,
Nemo
loves it when you when you put on the New Zealand accent. Watching these guys here, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, like I said, we've got a little 4-way fight for 3rd position in the final podium spot.
Oh.
As Jono's gone wide again there.
He's gone wide. Big Dick Johnson has just slipped it out wide, and that gives Dane a chance. The Italian, can he go around the outside? Round the outside. A little bit of M&M there for you here tonight, but now Big Dick Johnson. Oh, and look how close they are, Brad. Jesus, you couldn't even get a piece of paper between those two orange McLarens at the moment. As Ryan liking the accent. Oh, thanks for that, Ryan. That's pretty impressive, eh? But not as impressive as this. He's through and up into P5 McLaren. How fitting we're talking like New Zealanders, because Bruce McLaren would be very proud watching this tonight, Brad.
He definitely would be. These two McLarens are taking it back to the 90s, really, and 80s, where they actually showed some dominance. It's good to see that these two are doing McLaren proud, and hopefully them two squabbling with each other won't let Cart Dude and Fubbles get away from them. But anything's possible. Fubbles is on an old set of tyres, so it'll be interesting to see if he can take those laps.
Well,
sorry, not laps.
I've got to say that anything can happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does. To quote Murray Walker, look at this! Oh, this is just, this is worth the price of admission alone. As I was, Big Shep saying, with Wilco being down that far in the order, Chinese turn Ting Wong, as that's a bit of a joke there, Big Shep. And a big Shep and everybody joining us from the Beach Hut Brewery down there in Scoresby, Victoria. As now we've got a bit of helicopter cam going. Brad, look at this. This is going to be a bird's eye view down the back straight. As Big Robbie says, I poke my head into the commentary box. I've got a few Chinese jokes for you, Robbie, so stay tuned. As we better not go there, but look at this battle. I reckon he's too far back to have a go on this occasion, Bradley.
He's definitely too far back to have a go on this occasion, but he may line him up for the front straight. These two battling have let Hef slip back into contention, so Hef isn't on fresher tyres than them, but he does have the longevity, as we see Kart Dude has now taken the last podium position over Fumbles.
So Kart Dude then up into the final podium position. That's going to confuse the heck out of me if I've got you and him both in the same party together. But I've got a joke for you, Big Shep, and for Robbie Pearson out there as well. What do you call a Chinese rapper, Brad? Vanilla rice.
Oh my god, that's great. That's great.
Oh yes, plenty more where that came from, but lap 22 out of 28 here tonight at this Chinese Grand Prix. Oh, Shishi Ni. Oh, let's hope you're enjoying it, everybody at home. Hey, China's still cool. As 10 out of 10 says New Zealand Ryan. Stick around, New Zealand Ryan, because it's only going to get funnier as the night goes on, as Kane Leishman, all the sorts of angry emojis you would see, Brad, from somebody who just bottled it and crashed out of the race. 17 drivers started this race and 13 are still running. Down to compact there in P13, Alex as well. Not a good day for Red Bull though, Brad. 11th and 13th, Christian Horner is going to be shitting bricks tonight after this one.
He definitely will be, and I believe both of those drivers are definitely going to... the team will say that they're behind them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're not here next week, as that's the way it goes at Red Bull. Unfortunate, Red Bull don't have either of their actual season drivers. Compact joined late and should be in the halves, and HSV is a reserve. Unfortunate to be sitting just outside the points, as we know exactly what Dean can do in a car, so it's unfortunate that we couldn't see the best of him tonight.
As now the look at this, unbelievable, and I reckon Jason Wilkinson is in the pits. Stop everything. He is in the pits. Could he be going for the fastest lap? Yeah, I reckon he could be. He still is in the top 10. As Rob Dog says, what do you call a Chinese kid that's bad at math? Something wrong. Something wrong. Oh, that's absolutely, that's a little bit better than my joke, Brad, but not by much.
Oh, I'm loving these Chinese jokes. I mean, I think we get away with it, you know, it's just our Australian nature to crack some jokes about another country. Yeah, I believe Wilco pitted. He's definitely going to try and go for the fastest lap. Unfortunate, definitely wasn't his day. Those soft tyres, he should crack out the fastest lap, which is an extra point. We see Dano going for a move on Fubbles at the moment as well, and Jono gets up the inside of Fubbles as well. So unfortunate for Fubbles, he's just been caught out on the wrong strategy, and the two McLarens are now in 4th and 5th.
Just 4 laps to go until the end of this one. I reckon that Fubbles was a bit of a sitting duck, but V8 Man and Big Dick Johnson continuing their ding-dong battle. They are friends off the track. And who could forget the 2018 Australian Grand Prix when we were walking around the track, Dane, Jono, Wilco and myself. Happy memories, Brad. Hope to see you there in the not-too-distant future. But look at this, McLaren 4th and 5th as Wilco going for the fastest lap down the inside, I reckon. Oh, let's have a look. V8 Man and Wilco, are they a few spots of rain? And New Zealand Ryan saying Jared will take the piss some more and get the fastest lap. Even on the hard tyres, that would be absolutely taking the piss like you wouldn't believe. But these McLarens, I reckon we've spent a fair bit of time on these McLarens tonight as they're coming up on Kart Dude now, and they're looking very racy at the moment as Kart Dude, Brad, is on 12-lap old hard tyres. And I don't know whether I'll need to get confused about Kart Dude being in the post-race podium interviews, because he's about to get walloped by a couple of McLarens, I reckon.
You might not have to worry about confusing us too. Kart Dude has got a tiny bit of a gap, but these McLarens are catching him at a rate of knots. Hopefully, like I said before, these two McLarens won't battle each other too hard at the moment, because there is a spot for the podium on. I'd say that both these McLarens get the DRS off each other, chase Brody down, and then both go for a move on Brody.
Well, there we go. Lap 25 out of 28. Hope you have been having a magnificent evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're watching, right around the world, of course. Here, live and exclusive, it's the SRL PS4 F1 2019 Chinese Grand Prix, round 2 of this championship. Kid Byers and Bradley Marshall, your commentators here tonight. And what a race we've seen, what a battle we've seen right through the field, but especially with these two McLarens. And remember, two Wongs don't make a white. Thank you, Big Shep. I haven't butchered one of Shep's one-liners on the comments tonight, Brad, so I'll be very, very happy with that, along with all of my good mates down there at the Beach Hut Brewery in Scoresby, Victoria. Oh my goodness, I reckon Cart Dude's going to need a new pair of undies on this lap, Brad, because he's getting very, very close. Big Dick Johnson, I reckon he's got him covered here on the main straight, I reckon.
Yeah, these McLarens are closing in at a rate of knots as we see Dano right up his backside. I would like to point out, Wilco did indeed get the fastest lap of the race, so that's an extra point to his 2 points, I believe, did he get in 10th place, or is it 1 point? I'm not 100% sure. All I know is he's getting the extra point at the moment, unless Dean's... Oh no, Dean won't be able to snatch it away because he's in 11th place, as the fastest lap can only go to the guys running in the top 10. As Big Jono picks up a 5-second penalty as well. So these penalties may actually come back to haunt McLaren in the end.
Ooh, I've got to say, look how close this is, as official RA Gamer says, since when did Jared have a PS4? And Robbie says, Big Rob Dog says, what's the sound a Chinaman makes when he drops the dishes? Oh, bang a tiao. Oh, bang a tiao. And well, says Sam, I'm thinking the same thing myself, because these jokes are they're getting funnier, I reckon, these one-liners, so stick around. We've only got 2 laps remaining in this race, but tell me, Bradley Marshall, where is Big Dick Johnson and V8 Man going to get this move done to take this final podium place?
It's definitely going to be on the back straight or the front straight. They're the 2 biggest opportunities to overtake, or even just up into this little section here. Dano's been all over the back of him, and Jono's not far behind Dano. So it'll be interesting to see if Dano can get it done on this lap. But like I said, the penalties that these two have received could come back to bite these two.
Well, talking about penalties coming back to bite them in the arse, we're getting reliably informed from BK that Fubbles is actually our provisional P3 man, given the penalties for Cart Dude, V8 Man and Big Dick Johnson. But let's not take that away from the close, spicy racing action we've got at the moment, as he is through, but his Cart Dude, oh look at this, Cart Dude in the Williams, in a little bit of a McLaren sandwich there, copping it from all angles, as now he's going to have another go down the inside as one of the Red Bulls comes out of the pits. But Cart Dude down the inside, and don't forget about Big Dick Johnson, who's not too far behind this battle, but he's on the hard tyres, and he's done 15 laps on those tyres. And Harry Ryan, not wrong. And there we go, Fumbles P3. Sam giving us the bit of the Fernando Alonso style, saying, my race was a yoke. Ah, my race was a yoke. Speaking of Fernando Alonso, Brad, all the time you need to live in the space. All the time, as Big Dick Johnson are through and both McLarens are through, and Dane is up into P3, and I'm really looking forward to talking to the big Queenslander, because he's one of my favourites, Brad.
It'll be great to talk to them, but it's going to be unfortunate if those penalties do actually take those spots away from them. Running P3 and P4, that's an excellent job by these two. They went from the hard to the mediums, which I gotta say has worked out the best for them. As, oh my god, Jared has pitted again, and he's gone onto the soft tyres. He is going to take that time away from Jason, I believe.
Well, I've just got to say, as soon as Wilco thought he was on for 2 points, one for 10th place and one for fastest lap, Jared just taking the piss even more and more. Oh, that's a nice little camera shot. I like that one. But he is on the softs. And New Zealand Ryan, he's just gone and set the fastest lap, eh? And this is very, very sweaty racing at the moment. As Rob Dog says, it's great to hear the word spicy being used in commentary again. Trevin Rob making commentary great again, brother. I haven't forgotten about you. We've got to do some Project Car stuff. But anyway, that's a story for another day. As BK says, stop being a sweaty nerd. I'm not sure whether he's talking to me, but the final lap of this race, Fubbles could be our podium man there. But Hef could be the podium man going on penalties, you never know. But we'll go through the field. Danielson in P8. Big Donger, keep your eyes open for a dive bomb. Big Donger, Wilco there hanging on in P10. HSV, the man from Parramatta in P11. I'm not too impressed with that, hey guys. And Alex in P12, his good mate. Compact in the last Red Bull, but it's about this man. As Jared, absolutely taking the piss here tonight in China, crosses the line to win the SRL F1 2019 Chinese Grand Prix. And he'll be getting ready to have some pork and plum dumplings, I reckon, Brad. Followed by some steamed buns as well, because he has absolutely destroyed the opposition here tonight. And he's well and truly earned his dim sims.
He definitely has. Congrats, I gotta say. What an astonishing drive. He controlled that from start to finish, as Jono's just received another penalty. And Cart Dude has the last podium position.
Well, my goodness gracious me, we were wondering who would take that final P3, that final podium position, and wow, Big Donger almost putting it in the wall there as he comes across the line in P9, Jason. And he has not had a good afternoon at all. He will finish in P10. And we can just see there, who says we favour this man as he comes across the line. Puts it in the wall, our man Wilco, there he is. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh God, that gets me fired up for the Grand Prix. I don't think we've got a race this weekend. Dun, 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 dun. As we take a look at the podium, I reckon Formula One management might do us for copyright again if we're not careful, Brad. As we take a look at the podium drivers, DRC Jared, your victor here tonight, and it's time for the champagne. Oh, how good is that? There we go. Jared taking the victory here tonight by a fair margin ahead of Harry Ryan for Mercedes AMG in P2. Then it's Cart Dude in P3. I am going to be getting a little bit confused in the post-race interviews between Brad and Cart Dude. V8 man, a very Italian fourth place drive there. A great battle between him and Big Dick Johnson, who's gone off. I know there he is. P6 for the Hef. P7 for Big Dick Johnson. Danielson in P8. Big Donger with his dive bomb on Wilco. We'll talk a little bit about that later. As Wilco, speak of the devil, in P10. HSV, oh guys, come on. Out of the points there though for Red Bull. Both Red Bulls out of the points. In fact, he could get demoted next week, as Helmut Marko won't be happy with that. And Crumpkin in 14. These guys didn't finish with Righty disqualified, but what a race we witnessed tonight, Bradley Marshall.
Yeah, quite an interesting race. It wasn't so much about the guy out in front as he joins the party. It's more about the midfield battle there, and I've got to say it was quite interesting. Unfortunate about the penalties for both McLarens, because that would have been a P3 and P4, but I mean, you got to keep it on the track, and they were called out by that tonight. As
we welcome our winning driver here tonight into the party chat. And I've got to say, Jared, first of all, mate, first question, can you hear us? And second of all, mate, talk us through your race tonight. You're absolutely taking the piss out there.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Let us know if anyone...
Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't, I wasn't sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
Well, he's a man that obviously does his talking out on the track, Bradley. But talk us through your race there. You went for the fastest lap at the end, but were there any incidents or any moments where you slightly doubted yourself, Jared, but you seem to have it in the bag right throughout?
No, I was pretty OG to be honest.
All right, good stuff. And I'm not sure where we're racing next week, mate, but good signs for you. Yeah, absolutely blitzed it here tonight. Is there anything you need to work on, mate, or are you fully happy with that race tonight and where you're at?
Well, I'm still for the New Zealand Ryan, so that would be a starter. But, yeah, I don't know. Good race, I guess.
Yep. All right, awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Jared, our race winner tonight, mate. Thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations on the win tonight, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
We've been informed Spain next week. Thank you, Wilco, as we talk to our number 2 man, Harry. Are you there, brother?
G'day, boss.
Ah, yes,
How
look
are
at
you?
that. There's a man who knows how to address his elders, mate. Talk us through your race with Jared out the front taking the absolute piss out of this race tonight. Was second the best you could have done? Are you happy with your race tonight?
Oh, I mean, I think the gap was at like 40 seconds at one point until he pitted, so that's nice. I messed up my qualifying lap, so I started pretty far back, but yeah, not much else for the rest of the race.
And looking ahead to Spain next week, mate, is that a track that you like? Are you expecting to do well there?
I haven't driven this game yet, so I guess we'll see next week.
All right, mate. Congratulations, OP2. Yep, still a pretty high watermark set there by Jared tonight. But all the best, mate. Thank you for joining us tonight. Congratulations on finishing P2, and we'll see you next week. Yep, thank you very much for that. These boys could talk the leg off a chair, couldn't they, Brad? As we're joined by our third place driver, Brad. Can you please mute your microphone, Brad, as I welcome the Taswegian, the man from Launceston. I saw there was an armed robbery down in Hobart today. I hope you had nothing to do with that, cart dude, as you join us. P3 tonight for one of our favourites. Congratulations.
No, I had nothing to do with the robbery. Thank you.
Well, yes. Sorry, I just had my mic muted there for a slight moment, Broadster. But not quite the public holiday, mate. But speaking of stealing, you stole P3 there, mate. A lot of drivers having penalties tonight.
Yeah. Well, I had a 5-second stop go earlier, so I guess it kind of balanced out for me. So, I was lucky to get P3 though.
Very short interviews, as New Zealand Ryan says, such a chatty party this one. But thanks for joining us, New Zealand Ryan. Official RA gamer saying big rip. Sam saying, yep. Sorry, sorry, Brody. I've just talked across you there, mate. But sorry, go ahead, Team Radio.
Well, New Zealand Ryan can fly to Tassie, so Jared has some competition because we're human. We can't race against aliens. So.
No. That's for sure, but not quite a public holiday down there in Tasmania. But as New Zealand Ryan's saying, just can't get a word in here edgeways. But way too chatty, says BK. But we could write a novel on this race. We sure could, Rafa. But Brody, fantastic stuff. Thank you for joining us here tonight, mate, in the post-race interviews, being good enough to give us your time. And congratulations for tonight, mate, and good luck for next week.
Thanks, mate. Be racing for second. Be good.
Awesome. Now, as Brody leaves the party and Brad rejoins us, not that I can tell the difference. Well, an interesting race tonight, Brad, and it's been a spicy couple of opening rounds of the season.
It definitely has been, and I mean, I think we've just seen a new contender emerge in Jared. He's just blown everyone away tonight, and like we said, took the piss. He had enough time to make a pit stop with like 2 laps to go to get the fastest lap of the race. I mean, yeah, talk about taking the piss. He's definitely showed this competition, like this field, that we definitely need to step up. Unfortunate for Wilco again. He suffered another bad race. I don't know how he'll be feeling about that. He'll probably be a bit heated, but there's always next week. But then again, he may not decide to race because I believe it is his birthday. So
And our man Wilco, it is his birthday next week. I'll have to get him a gift or something. But Spain next week, Australia last week, the Chinese Grand Prix this week, and heading to Spain for the European leg of this season. Brad, it's been great to have you alongside me in the commentary box yet again for another week, mate. Thank you very much for joining us, and I will catch you next week.
Yep, you will catch us all next week. Hopefully everyone's in the proper cars and doesn't join late.
Let's hope. Fingers crossed. But a big thank you to everybody who's been good enough to comment, join the live stream tonight, watch the live stream. It's been great to have your company for round 2 of this SRL F1 2019 Championship. Rafa, Sam, New Zealand Ryan, Jared, Alex, everybody on the live stream. It's been great to have your company. And tonight it was Jared winning this race by a fair margin, ahead of Harry and Cart Dude in P3. As James Barton says, I'm sacked from Red Bull, back to Haas next week. And for Spain. But everybody, if you want to get involved, don't forget allthews.supremeracingleague.com. If you want to get involved in this championship, don't forget 8 p.m. Eastern Australian time on the 19th of September. It will be the SRL F1 2019 Spanish Grand Prix Round 3 of this championship. It's been great to have your company from Kid Byers, Bradley Marshall, and everybody here at SRL and on the Kid Byers channel. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Be kind to one another. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.